How are you? Hope you're doing well. Listen, do you guys ever make a plan and you ever plan something out in your mind? You're like, hey, I know what I want to do here. I have this plan. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do this thing, and this is gonna be the result, and then that not happen. Um, yeah, that's what happened today to me, and so but not in a bad way. It was actually a very, very good thing. So let me tell you what I mean. Let me explain something to you. So today I had the opportunity to go to a place called the Rifle Ranch in Graham, Alabama. And I went with my buddy Caleb. You guys met Caleb in the Enormies fitness session on the GBRS performance program. Caleb, former Marine, my tattoo artist, one of my best friends, and just all around good dude. And homeboy is a shooter. Okay, he is a shooter through and through. I got to see that firsthand today. So as we were talking last week, he was just mentioning, that he's gone quite a few times now to this open range day that the Rifle Ranch has. And the Rifle Ranch is an outdoor shooting range where you can reach out and slap some steel at 900 plus yards. So you're almost approaching a mile. And so he's been doing that for a little bit. He invited me to go along with him. I've never done anything like that. I've never shot long distance. I've never shot a long gun. I mean, I think the biggest caliber up until today that I shot was my dad's old lever action Marlin that I think was 3005. I think was the caliber there, and that thing had some kick, but I was also a lot smaller then. And so yeah, invited me to go do this, and I was like, man, I would love to. Are you kidding? That's yes, please, that'd be great. And so we went out there today, and I had this elaborate plan of just bringing you guys along with, and just going, okay, like I'm gonna film us going out there and film the conversations that we're gonna have, because whenever you're hanging out with Caleb, you're always gonna walk away. I think you're gonna walk away smarter. Your faith is gonna be enriched, and you're gonna be sharpened, and you're gonna laugh. And all of those things took place, and but I didn't catch it on video, and there's a reason for that, and I'm going to explain that after I show you guys the footage that I did get. I did get some footage of us shooting, and so the footage you're going to see is Caleb just got a new scope for his 6.5 Creedmoor, and so he had to zero that. So we go to the 100-yard section to zero that, and so I got some footage doing that, and then the guys that are there, they came up with this very impromptu, very improv 9-target course. That they had some ARs out there, quite a few ARs out there, and they're running this 9-target course, 5.56, and they're shooting anywhere from 120 all the way out to 280 of 5.56, and they're doing it for time. There's a shot timer on the table, and you have to start at the low ready, hit the shot timer, drop it, and go. And so you're going to see that footage, and I'll talk about that afterwards as well. And so the point of this video isn't going to be what I originally planned. Like, I originally planned for it to be this like vlog style video where it's just like, hey, taking you guys along with us, is taking you along with me, is I've never done this before. But that didn't really go according to the plan, and again, in a very, very good way. So here's the footage that I got. Stay tuned to the end, and then you're going to catch the point of this video. And it was one that I wasn't prepared for, but man, I'm so thankful that it happened the way it did. Okay, see you guys in a second.
What are you doing, man?
Just getting ready to go kill some steel.
Kill some steel?
Yeah.
All right, so where are we going? What's this place called?
It's a private property that a guy has. You can reach out to a mile. He's a shooter himself, and he had like 60 acres, but he built a steel range.
Dude.
So there's like a 0 range, and then a KD range, and then there's all different kinds of obstacles thing. And of course we've got the Euro EDM music in the background. And yeah, but
we're professionals, folks.
Yeah, of course. You have to get in the zone.
We do. We have to. We have a little bit of a drive, and so we've got to get dialed in.
This is how you get in the zone.
Night of the Roxbury moment.
That's right.
That's right, bro.
But it doesn't have like a name or anything.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's just a guy who lets us use his property.
There's nothing sketchy about that at all.
You know, it's organized. I mean,
I'm kidding. You have to sign a waiver, which I forgot to do, but Caleb did it for me.
it's okay.
Thanks, Caleb.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
That's what brothers are for.
You gotta have each other's backs. You
That's
know?
it.
You can't be 100% of the time.
Right.
So,
Thanks for providing top cover there, buddy.
top covers.
Top cover. Essential.
Loyalty, right?
Over integrity,
That's
right?
right. Loyalty over integrity.
That's it, bro. All right, here we go.
Ready?
What you doing, buddy?
Zeroing. Everybody's favorite pastime. The only downside to having a new optic.
33.
Looks like so much
It's a
fun.
really good exercise
Oh, yeah.
of the least viable amount of confirmation.
So zeroing out here
You can't
at 100 yards.
and run that.
100 meter zero.
You have to.
100 meters
kinda
zero?
like, think of it more like
Or
shooting
yeah,
a
100
red dot
yard.
and less
It's
like shooting
very
a
simple.
red dot.
Nice
It's
out
100.
here at Rifle
It
Ranch.
is 100 yards.
You just
Yeah.
have to-
I don't
you
know in
gotta-
my head. I just assume it's
the
100
first
meters.
instance you have acceptable. You have a tab right here. You just toggle through. Like it's all. It was made by people who actually shoot. So like everything's super like common sense. Yep. It's been here for a couple years. We just moved it. So you got a driver's plate inside of it, and you got a passenger, rear passenger. Which is pretty fun. And then we shot. That was part of our stage for hiking shoot. Mag does make a difference. Yeah, right magnification helps a lot. Steve, we got the new ring-mounted elbows for those, if you want it.
next one.
As soon as for me, it's like as soon as there's a time, like it's timed, it's like my heart rate goes up freaking 30%. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And this is kind of the holy grail of what this represents is you have to find the fastest version of smooth humanly possible. So you can't be too slow, you can't be too fast,
Right.
and you have to be calm. So it's like getting that perfect gray area slice in there
Yeah.
of not over confirming,
Yeah.
but also not overrunning.
Yeah, you have to hold it like with your muscle, but you got to find like just enough. to where
Just
you're
enough.
not like holding it higher.
Yeah. Minimal viable product.
Yeah.
All right.
That was awesome.
You want to run? Just right.
Low. Get back. You all good? Yeah. Hit. 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 Nope, sorry. A little low. Come up. Come up a half. Target. Hit. Come up a half target. Hit. Hit.
What was your time?
40?
Yeah.
40's good. Yeah, it's not bad. 40's not bad. Like you're in the top
I held.
third.
I didn't listen to you. I did, but I forgot. And I started holding like shoulders instead of head, and I dumped rounds low. I'm
It's
sorry.
okay.
I'm sorry. I'll do
Good,
that.
good.
People hunted with those for years until they thought they needed 300 Win Mags and 338 Winchesters.
Let's try a headshot.
On the Red X.
Yeah, I asked you about Rock Creek earlier because I've got a Rock Creek barrel that won't shoot.
Really?
I don't understand why.
What's your chamber then?
6 BRA. It's on a Defiant Deviant Action, sitting in a KRG Bravo stock. It'll try.
Impact.
That's 900 right there.
900.
900.
Impact. Dude, that's insane.
It's a tack driver.
It's a tack driver. All right, I'm gonna go for one of the smaller targets.
Go for it.
Just high.
So there you go. What'd you think? I know that wasn't a lot. I definitely am planning on getting a lot more footage and wanted to have some more conversations with some of the guys that were there. But man, like I said, it didn't go. I didn't plan on not getting all of that footage. And but here's why I didn't. Um, and it started as soon as we pulled away in Caleb's truck, and you guys saw that clip where we were talking about where we were going, and it did have a name. I don't know. I mentioned that at first. Like Caleb's like, it's a place with no name, but it's called the Rifle Ranch. And these guys that do this, the instructors are a part of Georgia Firing Line here in Marietta, Georgia, and just incredible people. And so. But the knowledge transfer started right away. Caleb and I pulled away. We got on the road. We were listening to music. We were just kind of laughing, cutting up, and then we just started talking shooting. And he knew that I'd never done that. I'd never done anything as far as long distance stuff. And so any time I've ever gone shooting, it's been on a flat range, or it's been very, very short distance. Not a lot of moving and shooting. Not a lot of movement. I've been to a couple of outdoor ranges with a pistol, but never anything with a carbine. Right. So that's something I'm learning in and growing in. And so that's kind of why I didn't get my phone out and I didn't record. Is because as soon as the knowledge transfer started, I just soaked it up. And I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but if you've been with a group of people and you understand where you are in the pecking order, and not in a bad way. I don't mean this in a bad way at all, but you just understand that right now that you are surrounded by people who are much better at this craft than you are. And so I was just soaking it up. Caleb, he just recently gotten into this role as well, but he has done, as a Marine, obviously, has done a lot more shooting than I have. And as we're driving, and we're having conversation about holds and mills and the scopes and the ammo and what it does and what you see through the reticle and how to do holdovers through a reticle at long distance. We talked about grip. We talked about trigger pull, right? Because the trigger pull and grip when you're shooting a long gun is different than if you have a pistol. If you have a pistol and there's just the way it fits in your hand and what the goals are and what you're trying to do, it's just a different process. You don't want to, as this guy, the main instructor there, Pete, told me today, is you don't rush your process, right? We're not here. We're here to the process matters, and I'll get to that in a second. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, and so I just soaked it up, and then as we're driving, we're almost there. And I'm like, dang it, I should have recorded this stuff, but I'm glad that I didn't, because I feel like I would have been more focused on that than focused on why I was there. And I was there to learn, and I was there to grow. And so we get there, we go up so Caleb can zero the 6.5, and as we're there, man, and there's 5 or 6 guys out there. They've got the big boy rifles out, they're suppressed, and so I'm just listening, and I'm just trying to soak up as much as I can. And it was intimidating. I'm not going to even play like it wasn't. I'm not going to say like, oh yeah, this is awesome. And no, it was intimidating. And so I'm just watching Caleb, watching his process as far as zeroing in the optic and the scope and just getting everything set, because, we're getting ready to shoot some longer distance shots. And then, the main instructor, Pete, and some of the other guys that were there, this came up with this, and I said it in the intro, this 9-target just course under time, see how fast you could do it. And you saw in some of the first clips, they had rifle, long guns, right? Bolt action rifles. And they moved, a couple of the guys had their ARs with them, and so they got it out and they had a lot of fun with it. And I was super impressed with Caleb. I mean, Caleb got out there with a 6.5 Creedmoor, freshly zeroed, and hit that course of fire in 55 seconds. That's impressive. That's impressive. And that was a hard course. And so, and I'll be honest, they asked, hey man, you want to do it? I'm like, no. and honestly, it was just because I've never done anything like that. And to do it under time, like, number one, I didn't bring my AR. I didn't have ammo. I didn't want to take these guys, use these guys' ammo and their rifles and just get out there and make a fool out of myself. Like I just understood where I was from a level of talent, and but that they didn't care about that, and it was so awesome. And so here I am surrounded by pros, and And it was just a good reminder for me today. It's just like, I need to do this more. I need to find those things that I'm passionate about and that I love and that I appreciate. And I need to surround myself with people who are pros at this, so that, a rising tide lifts all boats, so that I can learn and I can grow. And so that's what I did. I kept my phone in my pocket for most of the time and just listened and watched and asked questions. And so it was incredible. These guys were so kind too. They were so kind. And so we finished doing that. It's a lot of fun, right? Caleb gets on an AR and does it in 40 seconds. You guys saw that clip, and man, just some of the things that we're talking about, it was just a great reminder. Let me stop and say this at this point too, that I've always had an appreciation for snipers. I've always had an appreciation for those men and women who have served our country or serve our communities, carrying those types of weapons, making those types of shots. But after doing it today, let me just say to you, ladies and gentlemen, bravo. That is not easy. Not that I thought it would be. I didn't. I knew it was going to be hard, but until you do something yourself, you don't realize how difficult it is. So we move on to the long range course, and when we get up there, and I didn't get any video of that, just because there was a lot going on. There was a lot of guys up there, a lot of rifles, a lot of moving parts, and so I didn't want to be in the way, right? I didn't want to get in the way because I was trying to film stuff. And but this guy Cy, who you saw where he was talking about the timer, and the timer makes his heart rate elevate like 30%. Super nice guy. He had a 6.0 and rifle, just absolutely beautiful rifle. And he's like, yeah, man, come on, go for it, shoot it. And I'm like, are you sure, man? He's like, yeah, go for it. And so he's like, all right, here's where I want you to start. I want you to start the second berm. Here's the target. Let me get the distance. He gets his rangefinder out, gets the distance, and he dials it in. And this is one of the softest shooting rifles I've ever shot in my life. And I didn't do anything. The rifle did all the work. But my first shot, at almost 300 yards, like, put the crosshairs in the top of the target, smacked it. That was it was cool. Again, I'd never done that before. But man, some of these rifles are just incredible. Unbelievable. So if you're involved in that world, whoa, hats off to you. So man, and that brings up the second thing I want to talk about is kindness. Is everybody there today? I didn't know them. This is the first time I met all of them except for Caleb, and all of them were just so cool and so chill and so kind. And I'm asking them questions. We're laughing and cutting up. We're just having a great time. And so it was incredible. It was incredible. So we ended the day. The last clip that you saw was me smacking a target at 900 yards out. And that was my first shot on the 6.5 Creedmoor. The muzzle brake on that sucker, as you saw, was stout. But I loved shooting that thing. So I got the bug as far as the long distance shooting. So I'm gonna consume as much as I can from Caleb, but then also from the resources that is the internet, and from trusted resources though. But then, man, the main instructor was like, hey, we've got an intro to rifle shooting, like long distance rifle shooting, coming up at the end of March. Man, we'd love to have you, and we'd love to build you a rifle. And I'm like, not quite there yet. But I might be. And man, yeah, it's going to be the state. We'd love to have you. And one of the things that I jumped on Caleb's 308. And one of the things I want to talk about is just some of the advice that Pete gave me, and it was so amazing. And he was just like, I was trying to. We were shooting this plate stack. They call it the KYL, the Know Your Limits. So the plates it's 440 yards out, and you have an orange plate that's like this, then you have a blue plate that's like this, and you have another orange plate that's like this, and then you have another blue plate that's like this. It's 2 inches wide, and And Caleb did it, and my boy, oh my gosh, smacking him, bam, bam, bam. He got to that 2-inch one, and he grazed over the top of it, and he wanted it. He didn't get it, but he wanted it. But man, I mean, think about that. You're smacking a plate that's 2 inches in diameter from 440 yards out. You got wind that's swirling, and he had an issue with some of the ammo that he had. He had to re-zero the 308. And so he had all those issues, but he worked through them. Man, just, it was stout. It was impressive, Caleb. Good job, buddy. It was impressive, very impressive. And so I get behind the gun and like I'm rushing my shots. I am. And Pete comes over and he puts his hand on my back and he's like, "Hey man, listen, just relax, take a breath, right?" And I remembered everything Caleb told me on the way there about breath control and in between breaths. And when you break the trigger to the reel when you're shooting rifles, it's different. You know, you want to stay flat and you're counting to 10. 1, 2, 3, and let it surprise you. And so Pete said the exact same thing to me. And he's like, just don't rush it. Because I was getting frustrated. I was like, I kept missing. And I hit the first one. First shot, bam. Got to that smaller plate. Nope. I was struggling and I was starting to get frustrated. And he's like, "Hey man, just focus on the process, not the outcome, the process. If you focus on the process, the outcome will take care of itself." So it was great. It was great. And then, you know, after that we had 10 rounds of the 6.5 left, and Caleb's like, "All right, let's see how far we can get out." And you heard him say it in the video. It's a tack driver. That thing is a tack driver. That was incredible. So I wanted to end with this. I wanted to say this. These guys today were incredible, and they were patriots through and through. And one of the characteristics of a patriot, an everyday patriot, is you take the knowledge that you have, the experiences that you have, what's been afforded to you, and you pass that along, and you help other people out, and you do it with kindness, and you do it with open hands. You know, none of these guys today were like, no, you can't shoot my rifle. I mean, these are expensive rifles, and that ammo is not cheap. And here they're letting some guy who's never done it before, you know, just send rounds downrange and helping me out and dialing things in. You know, Sai, he's like, "All right, here's the distance. Okay, let me adjust the elevation like that. All right, put the crosshairs here. Put it at the bottom left of the target. Smack." It's like impact. It's like, wow, that's cool. But all these guys today, everyone there was like that. And so it's just a good reminder to all of us. If there's a certain craft that I talked about, you know, if there's a craft that you're passionate about, you want to get involved with, surround yourself with people who are better than you, and a rising tide lifts all boats, right? It will elevate your skill and your passion to be better. And so while I was intimidated, at the same time I was encouraged and admonished to go, man, like, I need to do this more. I need to go find those guys who are experts or pros. They have more experience than I do in a certain craft, and I just want to soak it in and I want to soak it up. But if that's you, if you're one of those guys where you have experience, whatever it is, whether it's shooting, whether it's music, I talk a lot about music on this channel and on my social media pages. You know, pass that information along, right? Knowledge transfer, legacy, right? That information, when you receive the information, you know, how did you receive it, right? You afforded the opportunity, so pass it along, pay it forward. And each of these guys did that for me today, and so did Caleb. And like I said at the beginning, you always walk away from time with Caleb laughing, sharper. You learn something, and it's awesome. So, what you want to be a patriot? You want to be an everyday patriot? Pass it along, right? Help other people out, and do so with kindness, and do so with open hands. Yeah, it was cool. Just a cool day. Like I said, it didn't go as planned, but in the best way possible. Yeah. Thanks so much if you're still here. Thanks so much for tuning in. Here's your reminder: in everything you think, say, do, and desire, be a pro, be an everyday patriot. Thanks. Talk soon.